So as we continue with the question, would you hate your mother, your father, your mother, your sister, your brother for Christ's sake? Or which means, would you allow God's work, God's word, God's commandment to rule your heart than allow or than compromise? Basically, it's what God is saying. And verse 39, he that findeth his life shall lose. But God is saying that if they kill you, if they persecute you, if they do all this, don't worry. Well, at the resurrection, you are going to get it back. Verse 40, he that receiveth you, receiveth me. And he that receiveth me not, him, it says, he that receiveth you, receiveth me. And he that receiveth me, receiveth him that sent me. Which means everything goes to God. Everything we do in obedience to God's word. We are following God's word. And then verse 41 says, he that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. And he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. Basically, God is saying that if a pastor says something, you receive it, you accept it, you follow it, you are going to get the blessings from God. And everything that has to do with that person, you are going to receive all the blessings. And I'll jump to verse 42 because I have to go back to Luke. And verse 42 says, and whosoever shall give you a drink, who shall give to you a drink unto one of these little ones, a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple or of a pastor, of an apostle, of a preacher, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. So all that Christ is saying is that anything they do to you as a minister of God, or anyone, if they give you a cup of water because they know that, oh, you are a pastor, you are a minister, oh, here, then they are going to be rewarded. But if they don't, that's up to them. So I'll jump to Luke so that we can quickly cover what we are saying. Luke 14. There's a word, there are some few words that was missing in Matthew, which we'll get in Luke, because that's all part of the topic. Would you hate your father and mother? Luke 14, 26 and 27, and then jumping to 33. It says, this is Christ speaking, and he says, if any man come to me and hate not, let's see what the categories and all. If any man comes to me and does not hate, or I'm doing the New Testament, I'll do the Old King James. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, brethren means and brothers and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. What is Christ saying here? He is talking about God's word, obedience to God's word. If any man says he's a Christian and he doesn't hate his father, he doesn't hate his mother, he doesn't hate his wife, he doesn't hate his husband, he doesn't hate his children, he doesn't hate his brothers and sisters, and not only that, that's not even, he doesn't even hate his own life. You have to hate yourself when it comes to sin. Instead of sinning, oh no, I'd rather cut my hand, I'd rather cut my eyes, I'd rather remove my, my neck, my everything, than sin. What shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world, but in the end loses his life? So what Christ is saying here is that if you don't hate your family member, hate them, physically say that, no, I won't do it. It's a physical communication that you have to provide. Don't say that, oh, I'll pray. Praying is fine, but you have to say that, no, this one, I won't do it because of God's word. And God is saying that if you cannot do that, then you are not a true Christian. And Christ is saying not just a father and mother and wife and husband and children and brothers and sisters. He's saying you, yourself, and your own life. So if you value your own life, you are going to obey Christ. And you are going to say that, well, I'd rather die than compromise. He cannot be my disciple. It's a simple thing. And what does it mean? It comes to the issues that we face in life. Your husband wants you to do this. You have to say that, oh no, dear husband, this thing you want me to do, I'm not doing it because of Christ. My wife, because of Christ, I wouldn't do it. My son, my daughter, my family, my brother, I wouldn't do it. It's simple and there's no in between. Verse 27 says, and whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Again, this is the Luke translation of what we read in Matthew. And to say that, again, the cross means that you are going to die. You've already made your statement that everybody looking at you say, this man, this woman, he's a godly person. He's not going to compromise. He's not going to do anything else that is against what God has put in his heart or her heart. So, this is the message from Christ. Verse 27, then we jump to verse 33. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, and cannot be my disciple. So, Christ is saying, you have to forsake all. If your husband, your wife, your daughter, your child has something in the house that is causing you to sin, and you are still staying there, you are still in the house, and you say, oh, let me just stay here, it's all, and they are doing things that's making you also compromise. They have all these wild parties and all of this, and you are still there in one room and they are doing all these things, and you're saying, oh, I will follow, I'm not going to join them, but I'm just going to stay in the room and all. There's no peace. You have to forsake all and just say, well, I leave you to doing what you are doing. I'm not going to follow. So what we are learning from here is that if Christ is telling us, you have to hate your father, your mother, your husband, your wife, your children, your brothers, your sisters, if they are not only that, and even yourself. So how can you hate yourself? Why should you hate yourself? You should hate yourself when you realize that things that you are doing, it's not following God. You are going to go to the lake of fire. The whole idea is that, for Christ's sake, I want to serve God. I want to serve the Lord. And let's go to Deuteronomy. I think Deuteronomy also has a portion there. Deuteronomy 13, please.
Deuteronomy chapter 13.
6 to 10.
Reading from verse 6 to 10.
Deuteronomy 13, 6 to 10.
Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 6. If your brother, the son of your mother, your son or your daughter, the wife of your own son, or your friend, who is as your own soul, secretly entice you, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of the gods of the people which are all around you, near to you or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Verse 8, you shall not consent to him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, nor shall you spare him or conceal him. 9. But you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Amen.
Amen. So we can see what this may be. Something that somebody will say that, oh, this is the Old Testament. The whole idea is that the verse 6 says that if somebody tries to entice you to sin, to do the wrong thing, don't agree, don't follow. We know when we read Proverbs, there's a whole lot of instructions that, my son, don't do this, don't follow. If they're trying to do that, don't follow, don't go to them. Here, Christ and God, they are saying something that, here is something your brother, your sister is trying to say. Don't follow. And in this case, it may be extreme. You say, you are the person to throw even the first stone. It was a serious thing. They never wanted to have anybody to deceive them into sin, to compromise. Now let's read one other passage. Numbers 25.
Numbers chapter 25.
We start 5, verses 5
Numbers chapter 25, reading from verse 5
to 12.
Numbers chapter 25 from verse 5 to verse 5. Moses said to the judges of Israel.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. Let's do this first. Let's do. I think we'll do Exodus. Exodus first, because that's where. Let's do Exodus, because I want us to. Okay. Exodus 32. Before we do that, I want to check one other thing. All right, we'll do. Okay, we'll do Deuteronomy 33 rather. 5 to 8 and 9. There's a verse there that I want us to. That will help us to go to the next verse. Deuteronomy 33, 8 and 9.
Deuteronomy 33, reading from verse
8 and 9.
2 to 9. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 8. And whenever he said, let your taming and your urine be with your holy one, whom you tested at Massa, and with whom you contended at the waters of Meribah. 9. Who says of his father and mother, I have not seen them, nor did he acknowledge his brothers, or know his own children, for they have observed your word and kept your covenant. Amen.
Amen. So what is he saying here? What is God saying in this particular verse, especially verse 9? And he says, and who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brothers, his brethren, nor knew his own children, for they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant. This is a deep meaning here. The simple answer here is that when verse 8 is talking about what God gave to the Levites, what did God give them? God rewarded them with the priestly ordination because of what they did in verse 9. So in order to find out what they did, let's go to Numbers now. 25.
Chapter 25, reading from verse 5.
Let's see if we can jump. We may not be able to read. I don't want too many things to read, but I want to shorten it. So let me shorten it. Let me see if we can shorten it. (25) verses. Read a few of those verses. All right. Let's do 8 and 7 to 9,
Numbers
and then
chapter 25.
and then the main thing to. Okay, just go ahead and read that, and then I will look at the next one.
Numbers 25 from verse 7. Now when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. 8. And he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her body. So the plague was stopped among the children of Israel. And those who died in the plague were 24,000. 11.
Okay, that's fine. I think that's fine. So, when he talks about what happened with the children of Israel, as we read Deuteronomy, right, 8 and 9, verse 9 is talking about a reference to what happened in the wilderness. And what happened in the wilderness when the Israelites were there. The Lord had called up Prophet Moses to go into the mountains, and what was, they were there. He was, while he was up on the mountain meeting with God, then the Israelites became licentious, rebellious, and they had all these things that they felt they wanted to do, and so they decided to go haywire, and then they sinned, and they compromised Aaron and said, make us a god, help us so that we can get ourselves and this thing. And so it happened that they compromised. And when Moses came down the mountain, what did he say? He says, who is on the Lord's side? And the children of Levi said, oh, we're on your side. Then he said, okay. And remember, there are 12 tribes, right? He says, who is on the Lord's side? And the Levites said, we are. And he said, all right. Everybody, the Levites, whoever you, he just said who was on his Lord's side. He didn't mention any name. He just said who is on the Lord's side. And they raised their hand. And he said, okay, those who are on the Lord's side, and all of you go on one side.